Welcome back, guys, to my episode. I believe it's every Sunday, where I drop my episode of Mount Rushmore of WWE, a certain specific category. And I've always got like just a little note with me or a little list with me. So how this works is I list a couple of wrestlers that could be on the Mount Rushmore, and then 3 of this category that should be on the Mount Rushmore and is on the Mount Rushmore. And then you guys in the comment section have to let me know who's the 4th. Who's your 4th on the Mount Rushmore? So also give me a couple of ideas of Mount Rushmores you want to see done in this format, and I will, if it's something reasonable, I will definitely give it a go. So today's one is comedy wrestlers. So comedy wrestlers is not necessarily guys that do silly matches and those kinds of things. And by the way, my videos are based on WWE, so I just have to caveat this out there, put it out there right now in the world. It's based on WWE and the WWE run. People always ask me why WWE. I don't watch AEW really. I'm a WWE guy, always have. I never really watched that much WCW. I've always been a WWE guy. So comedy wrestlers are not necessarily guys that have silly matches. It's wrestlers that can do comedy really well. So let's get straight into it with... Oh, I'm just checking the other side of my notes. That's a video. That's a future video. Let's get straight into Kurt Angle. When Stone Cold Steve Austin turned heel in 2002, I believe it was. No, 2001, leading in 2002. And Kurt Angle wore that tiny cowboy hat. And Kurt Angle, I'm just a sexy Kurt. He's so incredibly funny. He's just got natural timing with comedy, and he's just so good. William Regal. So William Regal's facial expressions are the best. And one specific segment, by the way, for each one of these, I just point out one specific segment that I think makes them warrant this list. Or not necessarily just one, but a couple of ones that makes them warrant this. And that was William Regal dancing with Crime Time. If you haven't seen that yet, watch it. It's incredible. Next is Vladimir Kozlov. He was originally pushed as a main event foreign heel, but once he teamed with Santino Marella, his tea party skits, all of that was incredibly funny. Next is Charlie Haas. He's impersonated the gimmick where he impersonated the Great Khali, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and just all of those. I cracked up legitimately when a guy who's probably like 5'11", 5'10", walking out like Great Khali. That was legitimately funny. Next is Hurricane. His sketch with The Rock was incredible. We would just like The Rock. Anyway, I'm going to speak about that later. Obviously, you know The Rock's going to make this list. So it's just Royal Rumble. I believe it was 2000 and either I want to say 2000 or 2002. Just don't quote me on this, but it's one of those 2 Royal Rumbles where he wanted to double chokeslam Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the 2 of them just looked at each other like, this is just not happening, and they just destroyed the Hurricane. Next is Goldust. So he had a gimmick where he was electrocuted, and just everything was just incredibly funny. Then he teamed with Booker T. The team was incredibly funny, and Booker T, his one catchphrase of "tell me you didn't just say that," it was just incredible, and the 2 of them, they just go hand in hand. Next, Colt Cabana. He had a cup of coffee in WWE, but there was one specific part that had me going, where Colt Cabana, he was going to the ring, and he was kind of had a corner interview bit, and he was speaking about himself in like the 3rd person / 1st person. It was kind of incredibly funny. Next, Christian. For those of you with flash photography, kazoos, everything, just so funny. And then I have to mention, of course, Edge. The 2 of them go together like anything in this world. They're just so funny together. Next, 2 I'm just going to mention as well. Now, I'm going to mention Triple H. Now, did do all the DX stuff age very well? No, but some of it is still incredibly funny. And then I have to mention Shawn Michaels. Now, again, the DX stuff, it doesn't necessarily age that well, but some of it is still legitimately funny. And when Shawn Michaels kicked just the backstage guy with the headpiece on, and he's like, "See, I just kicked Stan." And by the way, for those of you who don't know, that's Sean Spears, Ty Dillinger, Perfect 10. That was him early days. And I just kicked Stan. Next, Mick Foley, Mankind, whichever name you want to use. This is your live segment with The Rock. Incredible. When The Rock said something and Foley said, and then The Rock started replying and Foley, "It doesn't matter." And then he ran around the ring cheering himself. Foley is just, he's the embodiment of kindness and fun. Next, Stone Cold Steve Austin. His heel run with Vince McMahon and Kurt Angle with the tiny cowboy hat with "Look, I'm with Stupid" and playing Kumbaya for Vince McMahon. Just so incredibly funny. Next, Y2J. His catchphrases, his insults in the Attitude Era, clicking off the pen, you just made the list, everything just incredibly funny. Now the last one that is not on the Mount Rushmore, because the Mount Rushmore is coming after this one, is The Rock. I mentioned it earlier when I mentioned a couple of other guys, but The Rock's insults in the Attitude Era was also incredibly funny. His sketch with the Hurricane, phone is for you. It's crap. They said they were looking for you. You're 100 pounds of crap. Like, just that was just everything The Rock did just turned into pure comedic gold. Now, here's my three that are undisputedly on the Mount Rushmore. Now, here's one that a lot of people would think wouldn't be on here, but he's understatedly funny, and that is Eddie Guerrero. So Eddie Guerrero, he's lying, cheating, stealing, cheating to win matches, getting caught, not getting caught. All of that was just, it was comedic gold. His timing, everything was just absolutely perfection. Next is R-Truth. His skits for the 24/7 championship was so good, and recently he did something on TV which I don't know how he got away with it. It was against the Judgment Day, and he rolled out the ring and he looked at, I believe he looked at Damian Priest, and he shouted at him, "This is not supposed to really hurt, remember?" And he blinked at him. That's just, or not blinked, I just messed up this entire video by saying that. And he winked at him, like breaking kayfabe, like what we're doing, we're not really hurting each other. It's just so, when he, last year, I believe it was last year's Royal Rumble, he slid into the ring in the Women's Royal Rumble, he looked around, he's like, this is not the men's Rumble, and just sliding out. The whole thing with, I'm declaring for the Royal Rumble, and I will throw you over the top rope, Paul Heyman, and Brock Lesnar then broke character, and Paul Heyman said, Brock Lesnar's in the Royal Rumble, and R-Truth just, I undeclare. It's just, Brock Lesnar actually asked to work more with R-Truth because he was so funny. And lastly, Santino Marella. He's Cobra, I wasn't ready, he's trumpet, everything was just so incredibly funny. And the way he would pronounce people's name, there's nothing I would like more than to beat you, John Cena, and Rey Mysterio, and Baptista. Look, I shoot lasers from my arms, I'm a Baptista. The whole thing with only people that wear masks are ugly, or the Batman, Santino Marella, comedic gold. So that's my list, and those are my three that absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, deserve a spot on the Mount Rushmore. But do let me know who's your fourth, and give me some ideas for more Mount Rushmores. Until next time, hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace.